Greetings, it's Iain from RTO. Welcome to the start of another week on the channel. Had fun last night. Tier ranking the best-selling dross of the 90s. Had a lot of fun with Jimmy, Jason and Simon. So it's back to the business end of things today, and we're going to kick off this week with a very short ranking. Now, remember a few weeks ago I ranked John Martyn's studio albums, which was a fun one to do. I really enjoyed that. And of course he did make a couple of albums with his wife at the time, and I thought I would do that as a separate, because it sort of distracts from the rest of the albums. So today we're going to look at the two albums that John and Beverly Martyn made. Now, Beverly in her own right is a solo artist. I wouldn't be surprised if she turns up in a retro ranking. I mean, a Ladies' Day as well. So, John Martyn, as we know, created this song using acoustic guitars through fuzz boxes and phase shifters, etc. And he decided to do something like this with Beverly. Now, I made these two albums, but I think it was the record company Islands Records, once it felt that it was easier to market Martyn as a solo act. Although Beverly did continue to do backing out vocals on his other albums and making albums herself. So we'll have a look at these albums. So they're both very good, I like them. So coming in at number 2 is the second and last album. It was released in 1970 and it is called The Road to Ruin. So we've got John and Beverly on here. We've got Dudu Pukwana on the saxophone. Lynn Dobson's playing some flutes. Dave Peggy's on the bass, who does did a lot of work with John. Danny Thompson on the double bass, and this is the start of their sort of working relationship. The first track on here is a track written by Beverly, and it's called Primrose Hill. I love the vocal on this. Really nice words as well. Some lovely saxophone on it. It's a good opening track. Then we have Parcels. Another very good. It's a great vocal from John. There's some percussion on this. Is pretty good. And got a nice little bit of piano on here as well. Then we have Auntie Avivata. Lovely duo this is between John and Beverly. Really complemented each other's voices, and I think that's why she would continue to be backing vocals on John's solo albums until obviously they got divorced. But a very good song. Then we have New Day, maybe a very short track, but it's that lovely harmonies between John and Beverly, and this is the first time you hear Danny Thompson on the double bass. Really adds to it, that double bass. Very good, and some lovely flute as well on this track. Then we have Give Us a Ring. Wonderful little track as well. Nice piano. Harmonies are fantastic as well. Another solid track. Sorry to Be So Long. Some great bongos on this. I love bongos if they're played properly. Lovely vocal from Beverly. Fantastic little track. Then we have Tree Green. This is very much what you got on the previous album from John in his solo career. Just gentle guitar, nice sound, like that track. Say What You Can. Good track, some nice saxophone on it. Pretty sterling stuff. Road to Ruin. Now this is the one there's too much going on here. Sort of a bit confused. yeah, not a particular favourite of that one, I'm afraid. Okay, this is a good album, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it had the same zing as the debut. So that's why it's number 2, and I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.3. Okay, so number 1 is Stormbringer. Again, this came out in 1970. And the song 6 was written by John, 4 by Beverly, and it was recorded under the direction of Paul Harris in Woodstock, New York. So we've got John and Beverly doing guitars and vocals, Harvey Brooks on bass, Paul Harris on piano, John Simon on harpsichord, Levin Helm on drums, as well as Herbie Lavelle and Bill Mundy. They share the drumming between them. So the first track on this one is called Go Out and Get It. Love this track, always. One of my favourite tracks. Not just by these two, but one that John is involved in. Like the backing vocals on this, it's a great track. Can't Get Over the One I Want. Probably one of Beverly's best vocals ever. She did some great vocals anyway, but this is great. That combination of that guitar and piano is very, very good. The title track, Stormbringer, is now another great track. Some little bit of strings added into this. It's a great vocal from John. Sweet Honesty, a really good track, one of the longest tracks on their albums, and it's a fantastic vocal from Beverly. Then we have Woodstock, typical sort of early John Martyn sound, acoustic guitar, lovely gentle little track from John. John the Baptist, great track this is. I think this is one of her best vocals from Beverly. John's sort of like in the back of this one, but it works very, very well. But my favourite track from this album is probably my favourite track by these two, and it's called The Ocean. Both of them are their best vocal performance on the album. Lovely arrangement as well. Very strong track. Traffic Light Lady, a beautiful song by John. Just him and his guitar. You get Beverly doing a little bit of harmonising in the background. Terrific. Tomorrow Time, another outstanding track from Beverly. Underrated singer. Some lovely guitar work here from John. It's just a very strong song again. Would You Believe Me? It's got a nice gentle sort of nice electric guitar on here. It's not too heavy. It just really adds to the album. Okay, I like this album because of its simplicity. There's no complicated things. It's just simple music, and I think this just has the edge on that second album. I don't know. I think this is a little gem of an album. If you haven't listened to it, go and check it out. And I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.5. So they're going a very short one to start the week off, but it's an important one because these two albums are very underrated and they need some love. Okay, coming up next is A Perfect Side, and it's another request. This one has come from Mick in California, and I was delighted to do this one because it's a Grand Funk Railroad album and they're very successful Grand Funk. So that's what we'll be doing. So I'll see you very, very soon. Bye for now.